way of creating an audio active bit of content. I've got to get used to this actually. Right, I'm just going to go over to my other screen. I'm sorry, I'm on two screens at the moment, trying to just get everything sorted out. Right, so the tutorial today is I'm just going to do a basic version of what I've done on the Discord. So I'm going to start with just a simple cube. And oh, why isn't my mouse working? That's it. Right. The difference between this one and the ones I've been doing on the Discord is the origin point, as you can see, is the middle of this item. When you do an audio active component that's scaling, it's going to scale from that origin point in the middle. So it's going to be slightly different to what you've seen, because the ones I've done on the Discord, I've made the origin point bottom, so it only scales one way. But this is another effect, so I thought I'd show you a simple one. So what you do is, actually what I should really do is start with an audio component, because otherwise it's not going to work. So put an audio source in the scene and add music to that audio source, which I'm going to do, and it takes a couple of minutes to drop in an audio file. So my Unity is now frozen and I can't do anything. It will only take a couple of seconds though. That's it, I think. Is it done it yet? No, still frozen. Ah, there we go. Right, so I've got my audio source, but it can be any audio source, so it's actually going to work with the radio in this region as well at the end. But I'm just putting an audio source in here so I can actually show you that the stage is working. So I'm just going to start with one for now and add the audio reactive component into here. Just type audio reactive and you'll come up with the 4 or 5 audio reactive components we have. Today I'm going to be just using the audio reactive transform, and I'm also only going to be using the scale of the audio active transform, so I'm not going to be using rotation or position. And quite simply, a lot of these settings in the audio active component are not necessary for a basic example like this, but I will run through what they are. The BPM setting is only when you're actually in BPM mode, and that will make the object move to the BPM, obviously, and you kind of have to, the BPM value here, it's a little bit complicated to set because you have to kind of get it quite small. What that does is it picks 2 seconds before the last beat it heard to analyze the beat. And when you've got quite fast music, obviously you've got beats going more than 1 a second. So I find if you're using the BPM settings, you want to set it to about 0.5. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I spent quite a while wondering why the BPM setting wasn't working until I set it lower. So if anybody's playing with these components afterwards, I just wanted to give them a bit of help with other things they might want to do, even though we're not going to use that today. And then you've got limit increase, and this limit increase and decrease is to do with it's not going to be used again today. 1-on-1's going to be okay for this, but it's used to make the objects that you're moving to the sound move faster. So say I was doing position and rotation rather than just scaling, I could turn these two values up to 10,000 plus, and it would mean the object would move a lot faster. And these two values under the min and max value, I am going to be using today. That is the reaction time, and the closer you get the second value to the first value, the faster it's going to go. And I'm probably going to have it as 0.3 for this test. So I want it to react in like a third or quarter of a second. And the most important thing about the thing that I'm going to do today is the band. And we're going to start with one band, which is the bassy band. Like 60 hertz bass. And you do the band by setting from 0 to 1, that's band 1, and the next one would be from 1 to 2, and that'd be band 2, etc., etc. Now, all you've got to do now, after I've set the band thing, this is how simple it is click on scale, because that's the one I want it to change. I don't want it to change the scale of the width or the depth of the object at all. So I set that to 1, which is the same as the actual scale up here. So I want to be X is 1 and 1, because I don't want that to change size. And the same with Z, 1 and 1. I don't want that to change size either. Now, Y is scale it's going to move up and down at. And you can leave it at 0, but I like to do it at 0.01, because then it won't completely disappear. You'll always have something there. And because the origin point is in the center of this square, I'm going to have quite a big scale, because it's going to be scaling out from both sides. So I'm going to have about 30. And that's it. I believe that should work. Oh, another thing, whenever you're running a scene, this is quite a handy thing I do. I want it to look like this when I press play. So what you do is you click on your camera in hierarchy, and you go to game object, and you go align with view. That way it's put the camera exact view that I'm looking at now. So when I hit play, it'll be the same. Now hopefully, fingers crossed, this should work. See. There we go. Working straight away. Oh, that's a bonus. So that's working. So now what I'm going to do is just copy the first one 11 times. So I get it. Pressing Control and D to duplicate it. And I'm going to do it 11 times. So that gives me the 12 bands. And then I'm going to get the second one, move it here, and change the band. So we want it to go to the next band, which is 1 and 2. And then I'm going to get the next one, go past, just get a bit better view, and change the band again. So this time we want it to be 2 and 3. And again, I'm going to move that one along, and we want 3 and 4 this time. That was right, wasn't it? Yeah, that was 2 and 3. Yeah, so 3 and 4. And again, the next one, it's 4 and 5. And the next one, 5 and 6. Next one, 6 and 7. Next one, 7 and 8. Just move that along a bit. Nearly there. 8 and 9. 9 and 10. 10 and 11. And the last one, 11 and 12. Right, now let's get the camera view again. And click on the camera, align the camera with the view. Ah, no. Okay, well, we're going to have to finish this tutorial at a side angle. Wait a sec, let me just unplug my Space Mouse. Maybe that'll let me get control again. No, that's completely messed it up now. Right, I'm just going to, what I'm going to do here is quickly save this project where it is. I know what happened here. I pulled the wrong. Note to self, unplug Space Mouse next time I do a tutorial. Right, that is still that. Right. I'm just going to have to restart my Unity again to get back to proper control here.
Karsten suggested you click the gimbal at the top right symbol.
Ah, that might do it, yeah. That's it. Well, thanks, Karsten. Kind of panicking a bit there because it's just never happened to me during the thing. It's gone into ISO mode, that's why. That's it. Right, we're back. Well, that saved me. Thanks, Karsten. Right. I mean, the only reason this mattered is because I wanted to show a little extra bit of a tutorial on uploading room furniture. Add an empty here, which I want to. And then I'm going to move the cubes along so that they are almost in the center of that, which is there. I think that's about right. Yeah, that would do. And then I'm just going to drop all the cubes into the empty. And we call that audio display. And now on the audio display, we're going to add a couple of components. First, we're going to add the room furniture. So just type in room furniture. And the one thing I did forget is I need to put a collider on this empty. It's only for placement. It's not really used for anything else. So a box collider would do. And I'm going to set it to floor because I want the floor to be the main reference position. And I'm going to drop the collider in, which is dragging the whole object in. Work. Oh, why isn't that working? I see, I put the wrong collider on. remove component. Needs to be a box collider, 3D, not 2D. Now that should drag in to there, fine, yeah. And the other thing I want to do is only enable collider during editing, because it's only using the collider really so it can line itself up on the floor properly. Then you add your virtual good component. Virtual goods, and you want to set that to furniture. Pick a category. I'm just going to go with audio. Yeah, audio. Add a name. Audio display. Add a description. Audio display again. That's all you have to do on the first page. Then you go to the detail, which you don't really have to play around with unless you want to have access to the source code once you've uploaded it, but we don't need that. But I'm just going to show it to you anyway. You can give your item source access. It gives you more editing options once it's uploaded. Pricing, a lot of the time, I just do it not for sale unless I'm actually going to go on a store. But if you're not going on a store and this is just for you, just tick that not for sale. Icons. The screenshot tool doesn't always work great. I tend to do my own screenshots, but what you have to do is actually make this object a prefab before you can even take the screenshot. So once it's a prefab in the upload folder, then you can take the screenshots. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't really get the screenshot you want. So the author, again, you fill it in, and upload you don't have to do anything with. I don't know if you noticed, guys, but some of this auto filled in itself, and that's because in my sign in there's some extra once you've signed into your name, there's some extra fields that you can put all those details in. They didn't used to work, but that's all been fixed in the editor packs now, so it will auto fill it. I'm not going to show you right into there because it also discloses my API if I do, so I don't really want that. API key, I mean. So yeah, basically then you just drag that whole object, that is one thing I did earlier, into your upload folder. I always call it upload folder, but call it whatever you like, and that is where you actually upload the object from now, not like how you used to do it from the virtual goods, and you right click and upload to SignSpace, and that's how you upload furniture to SignSpace processors, for anyone that didn't know. Can I do that? Yeah, I can do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clear the ID, reset ID, and I'm going to have to change the name to be able to do that, just so you can see it uploading. We just call it AR. Right, that should allow me to upload it now. Upload to SignSpace, upload item. It's going to ask if I want to save the scene. The reason it does that is because it goes into another state when it goes into upload, and it loses the scene. So it gives you a chance to save it. And that's it. That has just been uploaded to SignSpace's processors. All done. Right. So we're back to inside SignSpace now. I can turn this off. Now my screen share. And let's see if it's finished processing. Here we go. Got something wrong with my mouse. Haha. There we have it. Audio rec display. And we put the radio down as well, so we've got some sound to make it work. Save room. Close. And up. Right, now all we need is the radio to actually work, which it doesn't seem to be. Can anyone hear the radio? You can. So you're probably seeing it working then, Sidearm. Oh, I am as well. Yep. All working okay.
That's cool. I think you left your last cube in the first position way back.
Oh,
But
yeah.
It still shows the principle. That's why I'm seeing it overlay at the beginning. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, I've kind of done this the Blue Peter way, the Sidearm. So the one you're actually seeing now, I did actually upload yesterday. And so that should actually be in the right order. But yeah, I might have made a mistake. But as you can see, it's not complicated. It's very simple. I mean, there is more complicated things you can do with the components, and I am learning those. And hopefully we'll do some more tutorials with more complicated things. But I realised how easy this one was. I thought it would be an excellent so easy to do something that looks actually quite complicated. Finished product. So yeah, that's it. Any questions? Oh, and that actually took up half an hour. That was... So, I'm not sure you can actually finish recording now, Les, I guess. Yeah, it was here. Here's one I cooked earlier. Blue Peter.
Could you just, Zoo, before he hangs up recording, can you just recap what you did again? Just, the brief recap of the top 3-5 steps you took.
Yeah, with the brief recap is you get an object that you want to use the audio reactive component on. You decide what you how you want it to work, but this particular content is working by scale, so the audio reactive component is scaling it. Then you pick a band, how I showed you to pick the band. I mean, 0, 1 is the first band. You're kind of always picking a to and from. That's why it's 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3. Then the most important thing for this one is the min and max value. You want to leave the min value at 0, but you want to bring the max value down quite small because you want to increase the reaction time. Most of the other settings don't actually matter for this particular form, doing scaling of an object, or for if you've got an object moving region really fast or something. And that's really it. You just need an audio component in the in your Unity while you're testing. The reason I use an audio component rather than a radio in my Unity is because the radio won't play when you press run in the radio will only work after you've uploaded it to Sign. So I just used an audio component.
Does it have to be all in a line? Can it be?
No, you can have it
like
however you like.
block or cityscape?
Yeah, you can have it however you like. You don't even have. It doesn't even have to be cubes. I mean, I've been playing around with hexagon dance floor. That is quite impressive. So it's like a floor made of hexagons that are going to be having audio reactive on it. But you can do so many things. I mean, I haven't really gone into the really complicated stuff, but with our components, it's possible to have an avatar dancing to the music. it's be quite hard to do because you'd have to be using the audio reactive animation component, not the transform one that I use, and you have to build your animations before you actually you had to think ahead really a lot. So you would probably want a sort of stomping animation that would be controlled by one of the bands, and other animations being controlled by other bands. I'm not even sure if they were mixed together yet. I haven't really got that far. You've also got the material audio reactive component that will change. It will do audio reaction between two shader states. So you have three shaders. One is the original shader, and then you put two other shaders into the audio reactive component. One is the original state again, and the second one is, it could be anything. I don't know if you saw on the Discord, I had a spiky object that was sort of working to the audio reactive. That was all done with the material audio reactive component and displacement shape. But you can also change the color. So there's another audio reactive component we have called a lighting audio reactive component that can control lights completely. So it would control proper region lights, and another one I think.
Yeah, I wanted to ask a couple questions about that. You've seen my recordings of a two screen thing.
Yeah.
So I would call this you're driving the vertical scale with the music, and then you divvy the music up into the 12 frequency bands. So each cube is vertically driven by whatever the music is loudest at. So could you rotate it in proportion to the volume rather than scale it vertically?
Yeah.
Okay. The second is, could you mentioned that it's being scaled from the center of mass of the object.
Yeah.
Can you arrange it so that it would scale from what looks like the bottom of the object and only goes up and down?
Yeah, okay, you can do that in a couple of ways as well. I mean,
that's okay. Don't explain it. The third thing is, can you change the color so the color hue would be driven by let's say the pitch of the music?
Yep, you can do that as well. I've already been experimenting with that, which Les has seen earlier in the week. I sent a couple of things with a kind of floor with things bouncing up and down, but it was also changing color, flashing between red and blue. I believe I had it flashed.
Is there an option to drive it with a MIDI note number, let's say, rather than the volume of the sound?
No, I don't think there is anything like that, but I'm sure things could be added like that if it's possible to have that interface in Sciencebase. Obviously, it would have to be sort of a widely used thing, not just for a couple of users.
And then finally, is it possible for you to get a copy of this over to Spiral in time for Mimi's royal event?
Yeah.
This rock to be in the background while he's playing his stuff over. Anyway, thanks for your patience on the question. This is brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
But basically, if you'd like, I'll put this in the store for free, so anybody can grab it, what I've just made today, and you can all have it for nothing. I'll put it on the store tomorrow for you guys. So yeah, there's that. And the thing with the you were saying, I actually wanted to go into this one a bit more. You were saying about moving the origin point. There is what you can do. The main way to get an origin point right is actually in your original 3D program. So I kind of making cubes and moving the origin point there. But if you're not that technically minded, there is a way. I'll actually show you. Get the screen share up. There is a way. It's slightly complicated. What you do is, let's just grab one of these, and we'll just get rid of the other ones for now because we don't want to overcomplicate it. So we get rid of those. Okay, so we're just going to work with this one. And what you do is you take the audio reactive component off cube, so it hasn't got one anymore, and you put the cube into an empty. So we get the empty, make sure the empty is at 0, 0, 0, and make sure the cube is also at 0, 0, 0, 0. Right, and as you can see, when the cube's at 0, it's actually halfway. Actually, no, it isn't. Is it halfway through? Let's look at the game object. No, they are both at the same. They're at the same place. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the cube into the empty. So now they're both at the same place. But what I'm going to do also is I'm going to move the cube inside the empty by 0.5 on the y-axis. I go 0.5. I didn't mean to do that. It's not scale. I want position. 0.5. Actually, I think it's. Is that right? Let's see. Game object. Oh yeah. You see now what that's done. It's you've got the cube, which has still got its origin point in the middle, but now the origin point's right at the bottom. And you build the thing the same way, but instead of putting the component on the cube, you're putting it on the empty, and exactly the same. So you go audio reactive and transform. We just go for band 1 because we're just showing it quickly. And bring the reaction time down, and we want this time I'm only going to do it to 10 because it's only scaling one side now, and that's it. Now that one should scale from one side. Let me just line the camera up again, line with view, display, and now that one should be doing what you were asking. When it plays. I know what I've done. I've done something wrong here. Right, so what have I done wrong? Let's have a look. Okay, what I did wrong is I didn't put the scale back into the size, so the empty is just making it invisible, basically. So now it should work. Try again. There you go. Working and scaling from one side, not both sides.
Okay, to quote Davey504, very impressive, but can you make the color change now? Over.
That's a little bit more complicated because I'm going to have to make 3 shaders to do that. Yeah, well, we have got some time to kill, so I might as well.
You don't have to do that one.
No, it's okay. Right, what we're going to do, I'm going to try and do it with just as it is here. So we want the material. So we're going to add two audio reactive components now, and this one's a little bit harder to get to work. 1.3 reaction time. I'm going to leave it on band because really you want to set this up with BPM rather than band, but I might have trouble, and I know the band's going to work pretty easily. So now I need to make 3 shaders or 3 materials. Do it anyway. Just do it here, right? So I create one material, and we will call this one. We call this one, I don't know, color. And then I'm going to duplicate color twice. But I'm going to call one of the duplicates original. And I'm going to call the other one target. I hope this works. Target. Right. Oh, why did that not change? Original. Okay, so keep it this time. Right, now back on the cube. Actually, I think I need this one on the cube. Yeah. So I'm going to remove the material one off there. Oh no, I don't. Actually, no, I do. Right. So I'm going to remove that off there, and I'm going to put it actually on the cube because that's what I want to change colour. In fact, I probably don't need to do that because it's not actually touching the object, it's actually touching the shaders. So yeah, I didn't actually have to do that. It doesn't really matter where it is, it's actually doing the shaders. So we want colour on there, and we want colour actually on the cube. And we'll make it a colour, so you actually know what's happening. Go for red. Okay. And so the original is red, so we want to make that the same because that's what it's going to change back to. And then we have a target as yellow just to make it obvious what it's doing, like that. And then we go back onto the thing and put the target and the original into their slots, which is original and target. And now in theory, this should start flashing to my music when I press play. I've only dabbled in this, so this could go wrong, but hopefully it'll work.
Drum roll, please.
No, it didn't work. What have I done wrong this time? Change the band down. The original is red, target is yellow. Maybe reaction time. Down. Let's try again, see what happens. Right, I'm going to try and change some stuff on the fly. I know what I'm going to do. Just give me 1 sec, guys. I'm going to open up something else where I've actually done this, just to look at my settings. I wasn't planning for this. Probably on that one. Yeah, here's my spiky thing. But that's not what I wanted to show you. It's this one. Right. Now this one's actually changing colour. And hexagon grid, audio reactive material. Here we go. That's what I did. Okay, I wonder if, can you copy components from one Unity to another? I don't know. Let's try. No, you can't. What I'm going to have to do is move that onto another window and look at it on the fly. Right, seeing as I've got those settings up, I'm actually going to do it the BPM way. Oh no, that's on band. And then working. Okay, I'll leave that like that. So it looks like I need to put this one up to 10 10. That's speeding up the range of the speed it can go at. I see. It's the min value. I think it had to be at 0.1, 0.01, 0.01, and 0.001. That was probably it. 001. Now, this one should work, I should imagine. If it doesn't, I'll be stumped as why. Yeah, it's working now. You can see it's changing colour. Problem is, you're not seeing the display refresh as quick as it is on my computer, so you can't really see it, but you can see it is actually changing colour to the music.
I'm seeing oranges, yellows, oranges, reds. So it is not just two colors, right? It's actually doing the spectrum change, right?
Yeah, it does actually change between the shaders. So yeah, it will get the colors in between slightly as well. But you're also not seeing it at the refresh rate. I'm seeing it on. Kind of looks like it's going much more with. But that's the basic of the material one as well, which I wasn't planning to show, but seeing as we had some time left, I didn't mind doing it. And luckily it's one that I had actually played around with. I've still got a lot to do with this audio reactive stuff because I actually really like it, enjoy playing around with it. So I want to make some even more impressive thing. Like my spiky object that you just saw a second ago. If you haven't seen that site, oh no, it's on the other one, isn't it? Yeah, bring this back across. I quite like the spiky thing, but the spiky thing is even more complicated because it's actually, the mesh has been made in Houdini and it's baking pivot points into the mesh that the shader can use. Just trying to find my saved scenes. Oh, it's there. There we go, sea urchin. Yeah, I quite like this one. Let's make the screen a bit bigger. Again, this one is scaling the mesh, but it's actually doing it through the material components because it's the material, the shaders that have got displacement on them, and it's moving a slider in displacement.
What? And it's responding to some music.
Yeah.
Okay. That would be awesome.
Yeah. This one, I can't wait a sec. I couldn't hear myself speaking then because every time I'm pressing play, my music is coming on really loud. But yeah, this one you should be able to see in Ziggy soon, I believe. Is that right, Lesar? Have you put it in there yet? Is Lesar there? Yeah, well, that's the other thing I've been thinking about. With the material thing, Mimi, what you could actually do is have a shader that's got a emission mask map on it. So there could be anything, you know. It could be a mission mask map of the word Sciencebase, our Sciencebase logo on the front of a T-shirt, but I could make that audio active, so it flashed on and off to the music when you walked into a club. Things like that. There's so much you can do with this audio reactive stuff. It's quite fun to play with.
I had another question. Where I'm hitting a wall right now is having 3D objects, and I only work in Firestorm OpenSim at the moment. That would I don't even have them scaling or translating to music, plus you can only upload 10-second sounds in OpenSim and Second Life, so it's pretty limited there. But I'd like in my mind's eye a 3D object that moved around in three-dimensional space, responding to the music. And I don't know yet, what would drive it in the X, Y, or Z direction, but it could just be a random, sign patterns to begin with. I'm in the total imaginative realm at the moment on that, but I know it would take scripting and it somehow ties to audio track. And then,
Yeah, but you could probably play around with these components. I mean, I could definitely help you, and then you wouldn't have to script. I mean, I was actually thinking of you as well with this tutorial, because I know you send me your stuff, which is music compositions going to visuals, and I thought this would be right up your street, actually.
and then here's the second idea that I'm trying to work on that might, I don't know, can you drive that frequency spectrum from voice on a stream? Like if Spiral were, or no, one of the DJs who actually talks, like Kat, could she have a animated frequency spectrum that would react to her voice, as well as to maybe what she's, I get, if it's reacting to a stream, it should be able to react to her voice, right?
Yeah.
So you could see the DJ's voice. Now that would be cool.
Yeah, you could. I mean, in theory, if the DJ's streaming, they could make themselves their own audio reactive component that was above their head. Anything you know, like the particle system we have now, this little green thing that comes above our head. If you were streaming in, you could make your own one. Anything audio reactive above your head. Could be something like DJ Zoo getting big and small above my head to the music.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Cool. Well, we are reaching close to the hour now. So, any more questions? Although it wasn't exactly very complicated. I hope you guys see how easy that was to do, and how easy you can do it yourself. But also, if you do want to give it a bash and you get stuck, just come to me, and it won't be very hard for me to show you. I'm often bringing people into this region now and screen sharing with them to help them with stuff. So screen share is amazing. It's opened up lots of things to do. Yeah, we're going to try. I mean, I want to do some more complicated tutorials or more complicated things with the audio reactive components, but I want to come up with some more really simple tutorials, because like Les's text one a couple of weeks ago, I want to carry on that sort of theme of things that look good and look a lot more complicated than it is actually to do them. So yeah, so if you have any ideas, like I've said before, just give me them, and I'll try and incorporate them into a tutorial, or Les will. I hope, Dixie, did you watch the bit about the room furniture uploading to Sciencebase? Because that bit was for you as well. I think she may be AFK.
The other thing, I want to compliment you, and I'm not sure who's streaming, Les or Jay, or is that you streamed this and it's now recorded, and it's like, the Office Hour 2021 Tutorials Mark 1. So Brad can check it, and
yeah,
all of
I
us
forgot. Yeah, I actually forgot that when I was saying you could come to me. Yeah, you can just go and watch the video again. This is the one thing that was a shame, because I wasn't here when Les done his text tutorial, and we kind of need both of us here for one of us to be recording and one of us not. But Les had to make his again after. But hopefully we'll do it like this so kind of kill two birds with one stone.
Which will save time.
Yeah. But cool. I'm glad you all enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing what you do with it. And I will put that on the store for tomorrow for anyone who just wants to play with what I made.
And just a quick poke that I think what we talked about at office hour, I mean at community hour, was something like maybe once a month or so, a resident developer would do a impromptu sharing what they are doing right now, so that Zoo and Les can kind of at least get a break or two. Um, I know I would love to see some fashion tutorials, if Kay hadn't gone so soon, I would have kind of poked at her. Um, I'm not in a position to do a tutorial on Unity. I could happily do a tutorial on MuseScore, but I don't think that fits into the theme here. But I think this is brilliant. And again, I'm looking for more of the developers to share stuff they're doing, like Karsten did and Hinckley did, and whoever else is here. Who am I poking at right now?
Yeah, I would like to see that as well, especially from Close, because the Close is like the realm of, I don't know how you would say it, but you know, it's one of the hardest things to do and one of the least bits of information, and it's the creators that are into it that know the most information. In fact, they probably know more than most of the staff, to be honest, because I don't think there's anybody on the community team that specialises in cloud. I'm pretty sure me, Les, and Dixie don't.
And for that matter, I'm thinking out loud here. Okay, so just shut me off if you need to go, Zoo. But for example, I just bought Hinckley's portal system, and then I pinged him with a question, which he answered. And he's saying, well, I've been meaning to make, documentation on it. What if Hinckley did a demo of his new portal system showing how you go in and add the regions, which I didn't know how to do that. So, great way to show how to do it. It could be recorded and ta-da, user documentation, and then, be great PR for the work that people are doing. And Kay was just showing off some new clothing she did at Buzz today. And she's apparently getting her hands around the infamous ripped bug. And, maybe she could show some of that. Again, featuring products from her store. Kay's one is a little bit harder, but I'd like to see her do one. Hinckley is one. That's a really good idea. I didn't realise people were even struggling with that. I mean, you could do a demo of that at next office hours, Hinckley, if you like. I mean, it wouldn't obviously take up the whole office hours. It would only take you up 10 minutes, but cool. Okay, we'll pencil that in for the next office hours then. Demonstration and tutorial how to set up the teleporter. Cool. Then mark that one down. Okay, it's written on my pad. And there's a question from Karsten in chat.
Semi-related to audio active, you guys know anyway. NPC lip sync, a recorded speech audio. I'm not quite sure if I know what you mean.
I'm guessing he's talking just like our avatar's voice lips move when we talk now. He wants the NPC's lips to move with the recorded announcement.
Yeah. Well, I don't know right now, but I couldn't see why that'd be a problem. In fact, you could do it, because what you would do is you would get the Sciencebase avatar into Unity. You would animate the lips yourself, so you put them through the animator, motion or whatever, make an animation of the lips moving, and then you can use the animation audio reactive component to fire that off. But the big problem is, and this is what SideArm realised straight away earlier, is that our voices aren't actually reacting with the audio. And my voice isn't setting this off for me. Radio turn this display working for me. So it would only be able to work with streamed audio or audio, audio that you put in the MPC. We wouldn't be able to do that with anything sort of audio active with the your own avatar's voice, because it doesn't seem to be connected. Although that's something that may possibly be able to be added in the future, adding the voice stream into the normal stream so the audio reactive component can listen to it. But that's not a feature at the moment. But yeah, Carsten, the answer to your original question is it's just a case of animating those lips and then putting them into the animated audio reactive component, which I haven't played with yet. It's probably one of the next ones I'm thinking of playing with, because I was thinking of making some dancing desk lamps, like those spring desk lamps that you have. Well, I wanted to make, and it's not my idea, I've actually seen this in another world, but audio reactive desk lamps that are the size of me, or maybe twice the size of me. Imagine 3 desk lamps dancing like a female dance group, but they're desk lamps. Anyway, I have lots of weird ideas. It's like I was taking a hover carrot the other day, vehicle that's a carrot. Ideas. But yeah, dancing lamps.
That gives me a good direction. I'm guessing your way would probably work best to automate the animation a little bit instead of trying to.
Yeah, well, I think
animations for each sound clip.
Yeah, I think the avatars have got shape keys as well, so you should be able to open the mouth and close it fairly easy to record that animation. But you can actually use the animation system with the audio reactive component completely. You know how powerful the animation system is, so it doesn't actually have to be animating an object or an avatar. It can be animating the inspector and still working with the audio reactive component. So the audio reactive component could be turning on and off things that are completely, your own scripts in there. But it's kind of endless, like everything with Sciencebase. The possibilities are endless. Yeah. Anyway, we've gone over the hour now, so which is good, because I did feel I was short of anything to say. Thanks everybody for coming.
You're listening to Electroswing Radio. Visit electroswing-radio.com for more.
Oh, I didn't realise I thought you had already closed the stream. Oh well, we got a load